you might feel like there's one way to connect with God and there's one thing. This is how devotion looks. This is how prayer looks. This is how small groups look. This is whatever. And it's like, no, Jesus is the center of all of it. Community is absolutely necessary. But how you one-on-one connect with God, he lists 9 different pathways to do so. How would you describe the book?
Exactly that way, that he built you a way. And so the way that you're going to connect with him is in a particular way.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cornerstone Conversations. We are wrapping up the year.
Yeah.
Or maybe when you're watching this, you have already wrapped up the year and we're into January. But so glad that you are with us from wherever you are at. My name is Trevor. I'm here with the beautiful, wonderful Pastor Josh Hersey.
Why does he say
and then
this?
the gorgeous,
It's true.
the stunning, the heart-throbbing Mr. Dylan Para over there, making it all happen on the Google machine as well. Quick things, because when we're filming this, we are a few weeks off from Christmas.
Yeah.
And you said something in your sermon the other day. It was the first one in the Why So Merry. I did not know this about you. You said that y'all watch a bunch of Christmas movies.
Yeah.
At the house. All right, so go to, and Dylan, you're thinking of this as well. What is your go-to Christmas favorite movie?
It's very easy. It is Home Alone 1 and 2.
Oh,
Equally as excellent, top of the line.
True.
We watch Home Alone 2 on Christmas Eve, and then we watch Home Alone 1 on Christmas Eve.
You wait till then?
Yeah, it might play a little bit.
My gosh.
So I'm not a Christmas music guy either.
Okay.
But
so honestly, when did you start hating the Lord's birth?
So, see, people think I'm a Scrooge. It is not. It is not that.
Hey, that's what, honestly, when you said that in your sermon, I was like, whoa, I did not know this.
Like the weather down here makes it really hard to get festive.
I agree.
Yeah, it's like
been
what is it,
I
like
agree, though.
74 degrees right now?
It's
like,
ridiculous.
This is not Christmas. I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
not.
I
Sorry,
don't really,
Jesus, your birthday's so lame.
Honestly, don't watch that many movies, but I would probably say either Home Alone or Elf, bro.
Elf is a great
a
one.
You know
one,
what?
bro. It's a
That's
classic.
one that
It's
we
a
haven't.
classic.
So my kids watch it. They are all about the Christmas music, all about and Felicia as well. I shouldn't just blame Chasen and Madison. But for me, it's Griswold. The Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
That
That's a good
is
one.
hilarious. That's
a good
why I like the Blackhawks and hockey. Now that I watch a ton of it, is because he wears the jersey. Like that's I watched that so much as a kid. All right,
Christmas with
I
the
haven't seen
Cranks
it 'cause
is phenomenal.
Yeah, I haven't seen it because I'm a Christian, but I heard it was good.
Nice
that's my line,
Dylan.
son of a mother.
Nice
God,
word. That
Yeah,
was
that's not one that I would
awesome.
probably show at church, but it is one of my absolute favorites for sure. Christmas with the Cranks. Great
So
movie.
Yeah,
funny.
that's a good one.
It's so good.
I remember when that came out. I was working for my grandparents in their movie theaters when that came out.
Oh yeah,
and that
because you
was
got like a special. You probably know more about like movie releases and all that stuff.
in
than,
that era, the 2000s and stuff like that. All right, so that's your favorite, least favorite. Like I will turn it
Polar
off.
Express
Wow, I didn't even finish the sentence.
drives me crazy.
Really?
I can't do it. I don't even know why. I'm just not into it at all.
That's
Okay,
fair, yeah.
Dylan, what about you?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't really watch a lot of movies, so I don't remember the ones I don't like.
Listen, Dylan, I'm just positive all the time. I don't keep anything negative
that's
in
right.
my. I think for me,
Did you give a favorite?
Christmas Vacation.
Oh, that's right.
For
You did say
sure.
that.
And then I would say, okay, you know what? Here's a little bit of a favorite. I'd be curious if people know this one. Family Man with Nicolas Cage. Have y'all seen that? Family Man?
Yeah, it's when he lives 2 lives.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. That is a good movie.
He's, the successful. That is such a good, I don't know if I would, that's probably not one for kids for the record, but there's a few moments that I would not let my kids watch in that, but that is a tremendous movie because he's successful. And then there's something that happens and he goes to what his life was if he did not choose the success and all that. So I love that one, but
that is a good one. That's a good one.
least favorite is the black and white one. Is it Miracle on 34th Street?
Really?
I don't think I've...
No, okay, because the famous one, because Miracle on 34th is different than...
What am I talking about then? No, I'm talking about this one. Every time a bell rings, or something like that, right?
No,
something like
that's
that?
not Miracle on
Matilda?
34th. No,
No, not Matilda.
no,
Well, that's the same girl then.
No,
it
that's
is,
a
it is.
remake. That's
It
a
is.
remake.
He is. Oh my gosh, the fact that my mind is not going there. It's the famous.
Dylan, search famous Christmas movies in the 40s or 30s.
Yeah, like
and
black and
someone's
white,
watching this right now, yelling at the screen.
yelling
This
at
is
us.
what it is, and we're like, bah.
I can't
Well,
believe
I can't-
my right there.
What is that?
James Stewart. What is the name?
What is the name? That's it. That's it. It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
And everyone at home is like,
I love
thank you, Lord.
Yeah, everybody. The fact that I couldn't get there in my mind is shocking. I love that movie.
Really?
I do.
That one, maybe it's the black and white. Maybe it's those
You can
type
watch
of
it in
movies.
color, too.
Those, well, I don't have all the money you have, but
I don't know what that means.
but I don't know. Just the black and white movies, I feel like they're so slow and it takes forever and all that kind of
Those
stuff.
older
So just
movies
not
was
mine.
a ton of wasted, like,
Yeah,
there's
just
these
feel like
scenes where it's
right,
like,
yeah.
please cut this. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get
that's
it.
Kind of
My
how I felt
Lord.
like
I get
Rudolph
that.
the Red-Nosed Reindeer, bro. The animated one was kind of just like,
Oh, like the TV show?
Oh,
yeah, where they walk around like
yeah.
this.
same thing.
That's how
just
they're
like-
walking around.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in forever. So apparently that
Yeah.
doesn't make our watch list.
Yeah, it's not one I'm running after.
Also, by the way,
Oh, is this a Taco Bell card?
yeah,
Oh, man.
just look at the sum on that bad boy.
Where is this at?
It should be. I hope it's on there.
It doesn't say right there. People right now watching this are like, these guys are idiots. Oh my gosh.
So
Wow.
So
Taking me to lunch.
this is a viewer.
Wow. Thank you
So in our-
so much.
Our last
I
episode.
remember that hat.
Yeah, you remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
They sent me a Taco Bell gift card, and I'm like, this is not my gift. This has got
That
to
is
be
a
for Trevor.
lot of Taco Bell. So thank you.
Should I say the amount that's on there?
Yeah, you can go
It's
say-
$100.
I've
man.
never, this is a
That's
true story. I've never, now I spend that much, but I've never had a gift card of that much. Wow. It goes up. Look at this. Who's spending $500 on a Taco Bell gift card?
It's certainly not Josh. I guarantee you that.
It ain't Trevor. I mean, but
I
that's
was gonna
a,
say, bro, if anybody,
I just love that
probably-
Taco Bell is that confident. Like somewhere in a conference
fair, yeah.
room is like, what's the amounts we should put on this? And someone goes, probably 15. And the other person goes to 500.
500.
And
That's
you're like,
right.
That's it. That's it. Like that's a pretty, how many, so that's funny. How many $500 Taco Bell gift cards are sold this year? Not publicly available. Oh,
course
that's a
it
It wasn't a
letdown.
lot. They didn't want to.
Yeah, exactly. There's
no
four.
one
They were
bought
like,
one.
we can't put 4.
Exactly. Oh, I want to give a shout out to Conky's Outdoors. Thank you so much to the Davis family for hooking us up. And my hair is just, I'm just growing it out.
Yeah, you
It's
are.
just, it's teaching about the Lord's sovereignty. It's just doing what it wills. So I'm just letting it go. I'm letting it go for a year.
I don't know how you're doing it.
Just waking up every day, just letting it grow. That's how I'm doing it. All right. Today, when we talked a few days ago, I'm like, hey, man, what do you want to just kind of end the year with? What do you want to look at going into it? And then you brought up 2 books this year, and you said, let's just talk about these books that we've read this year, these things that have really impacted us. I will give a shameless plug as well. A book I put together called Nativity Within. You can get that on Amazon. We've given them all away at Champions.
I didn't know you had written another one.
Yeah, so I love the Nativity story. I do a lot of storytelling in this. There's a little bit, you'll see a little bit how I did 41 in there, a little bit of that kind of stuff. But we bought a bunch of them. We've already given them all away, or I'd give COTR some. But you can grab it on Amazon. And the cool thing was this. Every one that you buy on Amazon, we're able to send 2 into the prison system. So we were sending
killer,
those. So
man.
it's a pretty cool thing. It just pays for that. So anyhow,
awesome.
if you want one of those, you can get it on Amazon now. So a little shameless plug. But back to the books. Practicing the way. I can't find my Sacred Pathways one.
All of mine are digitally stored. So
Oh, okay.
I'm a listener to books.
Audio.
For sure.
Yeah, so here's the thing that I wrote down as the first question. What made us want to end the year, of all the things we've talked about, end the year talking about books that have shaped us? Like, where did that come from in your heart for this?
I think for me, I was just like, you are a big John Mark Comer guy.
Because of Ruthless Elimination of Hurry.
Which I've read also.
That one wrecked me the first time I read it.
Which is a great book. I read that a handful of years ago. And you have mentioned practicing the way a handful of times. I just got back from a hunting trip, and I had several hours of driving where I was alone.
You're not going to say what happened on that hunting trip? Or are we pretending?
No, we don't have time for that. We were successful, mostly.
Can I put the picture in here or no?
Of what?
What you sent me? Not the one just today, but the one of a couple weeks ago.
I guess it's up to you. I just always worry about the
PETA.
Yeah, the people that aren't into it, and just respectfully, but whatever. I don't know.
That's a first. That's the first you've ever shot down a conversation about hunting. Proceed. Sorry, my bad. I was shocked. I don't even know what to do. It's a new year.
Yeah, we were mostly successful. It was awesome. It was fun. But I had a ton of hours. So I intentionally, I had downloaded Practicing the Way. It was after one of our episodes we recorded in here. I was like, let me just go ahead and get it in my library.
Yeah.
Get ready to read it. And I did.
How many books you read a year?
Listen
you
to
think?
it. I am going to, this year was a down year for me, I would say. And I probably read like 8-ish books.
Dude, I'm nowhere near
maybe.
that. Like, how many do you think you're reading a year, Dylan? Okay, that answered. All right.
Yeah, I read the instructions on the new. Okay. I'm just kidding.
That is okay,
I'm
dude.
a
You
listener
are,
too, for sure.
I did.
yeah, I'm a listener on it as well. I'm not a. If I
I'm
really
like a
love it, I buy
forget
the
what I
hard
just
copy.
read kind of guy. Like,
Yeah, same. Sorry,
Yeah.
I keep cutting you off.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
fine. I read a few books this year because a pastor in my life, he just asked me and a group of other pastors to do it. So I was like, I read 3 or 4.
Okay, so that's where a lot of it came from. Was that next level, that kind of stuff? Okay.
I read, I think 4 books this year that I only read because our group did it. And I'm like, okay, otherwise I wouldn't have chosen them.
Okay.
And yet they spoke to me, I mean, like immensely. And so I just thought at the end of a year, maybe we talk about some of the influence of books and reading and the way that we grow in discipleship heading into a new year. What can, somebody might set out a goal to say, hey, I'm going to read like a book a quarter or something. Might be a huge step for somebody. Or if I'm sure there's people out there that's like, if I read a book next year, it would be a big deal. Great. For me, I would love to read like a book a month would be ideal. I mean, gosh, I know like Craig Groeschel reads like a book a week.
I don't understand that. I don't get. Ed Milet would do that kind of stuff too. He'll like almost interview somebody on a podcast and was like, "Oh, I read your book yesterday." I'm like, in a day, you read the book? I'm the same with you. I get through 2 pages. I'm like, let me go back and just read what I highlighted because I can't remember,
He also is a listener from what I understand. He does it in the gym and he's in the gym every day.
But for how long? I don't know.
I mean, have you seen those biceps? He's in there for a minute.
I guess that's a true thing. So, and you said this too, the seasons I think this is wild. And I don't know how much you would have to say on this. It is wild to me how books speak to you in seasons.
Yes.
Does that make sense? So you have said that the amount of times I've heard from people with the 41 book that we put out this year of that spoke to me right in this season. Like it just blows my mind how God uses literature.
Yes.
For seasons. Like obviously we're huge on scripture, but just literature from his people that have heard the Spirit of God that just teach it in a different way. And so what is there some, I don't know if there's anything for you to say on that of why you think that happens or, obviously you told your experiences of it.
I think I would credit, this almost feels like a cop-out answer, but just it isn't, but it feels like it's just the sovereignty of God. Mm-hmm. So when Pastor Matt asked me to read Fathered by God earlier this year, okay, I only read it because a pastoral voice in my life asked me to, and I've talked about this before. And that's probably been the book I've recommended more than any book this year because I was taken back at how much it impacted me. And then I've said on the show, do I think that it's accidental that the year I am asked by a pastoral voice in my life to read Fathered by God is the same year that my dad dies? I'd probably not. You know what I mean? And the way that God has fathered me through other people and other men have stepped in to play the fathering role throughout the course of my life. That will be true for my kids, your kids, that God, his sovereignty is, I am your father and I'm going to use these people to father you the way I want you to be fathered. And so that book for me was very, very, very timely and shockingly influential in my life.
Let me ask you this. Let's just say somebody, they're watching and maybe they heard that little challenge of let's say a book next year, I'm going to read 1 book, you know what I'm saying? Yep. Or I'm going to do a book a quarter. What would you tell them from your experience? What I wrote it down like this, what makes you grab a book? You know what I'm saying? Is it the cover? You know what I'm saying? Is it the author? Is it, I'm going through this or I have an intrigue to this? I know what my answer is. I'd be curious if even y'all's of what would pull you in to say, okay, I'm going to spend time of my life. I don't know. I know that sounds like a little much, but to me, that's how I look at a book. I'm spending lifetime and growing in knowledge. I'm a big believer in readers or leaders. Anybody that champion knows that. I mean, we've done series during the summer called Book Club where we're going through 12 books and just highlighting them for that reason to grab something. But what makes you grab a book or what would you suggest to somebody in that?
There's probably a few things. An author matters to me. Okay. So if Craig Groeschel authors it, I'm into it. Okay. I've read a lot of his books, not all, but a lot. Pastor Joby Martin. I have read all of his. I have his last book, Stand Firm and Act Like Men. It's in my library. I'll probably start that in the spring. So that's one. And there's others, but those are a couple of guys. For others, like I mentioned, if somebody that's in a place of leadership in my life is going to ask me to do it, I just say yes, sir, and move on. And then also for me, it'll be what if I have, particularly as a pastor, a parent, a husband, like, is there a deficiency in me that I can go hunt for content I think is going to help me be a better husband?
That's me right there. That's what I'm doing.
Or is our church heading into a season where I think I need to be prepared for? We talked in a recent episode about, like, I read Lisa Turkhurst's book about.
Yeah, that would have been the one that episode just before this.
That is right.
Yep. Because when we're recording it, it came out today. So we're pretty close on our release and recording date this time.
And I was like, I have not walked through that, but I know I'm a pastor and I'm probably going to talk with people who have, and it just gives me an opportunity to know, like, I feel more equipped to serve them.
Yeah.
So things like that.
What about you, Dylan? What would grab a book for you, or what would make you grab a book?
I almost want to say like something that I feel like I know I would benefit from in a positive way. Like, okay, this book's gonna do something for me. But I almost feel like that might not be fair to say, because like what you were saying is like you just had people like suggest books to you that you might not have gone out of your way to try, but it just ended up resonating with you in the right way. So
I think it can kind of be both. I am very much what you said, whether it's something, I think how you said, like, there's maybe this deficiency in me that I'm like, hey, I want to grow in this area. And I've always believed this. I heard this guy named Michael Pitts say this years ago when I first got saved. I had the iPod Shuffle. If you remember that, like the skinny one, the one that looks like what people are vaping on now. You know, like that's what I had. I had the cord, like I had all that, and I'm downloading sermons on this. And he says this, he goes, if a man wrote down what they know or what they've learned through a season, whether it was a year, 5 years, 10 years, if they wrote it down, you can learn what that person learned over 10 years in just a few hours. And that wrecked me forever. Yep, I was like, oh my, because I always felt stupid. Like I've always felt stupid and less than, and that's because I cheated all the way through high school. Like I never did a real project, a real side. I learned how to cheat well, honestly, through high school and all that. So I felt stupid with it, but I'm like, well, if John Mark Comer, I think he wrote this, I think he had 11 years worth of notes.
Wow.
For practicing the way I heard him say one time, 11 years worth of notes. And I could read this legitimately in 8-10 hours.
Right.
Like, why would I not take what God has made available? Like, why would I not want to feed this? So the deficiencies, that's what I think about all the time. John Mark Comer, found him, buddy of mine, Danny. Actually, Walter told me about him first, and I just never, and then Danny was like, you need to read this. And then Mark Batterson, I love his stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Win the Day, that one's behind you. I'm reading...
Circle Maker's one of his big famous
I'm reading
ones.
Gradually, then Suddenly. I'm reading that because where the church is going, I don't think I can... I'm not going to say what, because when this comes out, there's stuff that's happening in this moment that will change the history or the trajectory, I should say, of Champion forever. And I feel like where we're going as a church, this is what I want to teach on, Gradually, then Suddenly.
Nice.
And so that's why I'm reading that book. So I'm kind of in the same way with you on that, of deficiency, and then what do I feel like I'm supposed to be teaching? What can I learn? So I feel like I rambled a lot on that. That's my bad.
I have a question. Do you guys ever read a book that you feel like you're going to get something out of, and you get to the end of it and you're like, I don't think I got I want out of that.
Oh my goodness, yes. Or something that someone's like, this book was amazing.
Like, no,
and then I read it and I was like, what is wrong with me? It's more of what.
Am I not retaining
yes, that happens. I won't name books that has happened with, but for me, yes, that is 100% happened to me.
I heard, so I learned this again from Craig Groeschel and listening to his podcast, and he did a thing about reading, and he gave like some of his top books and so forth. He gave me so many permissions, like freedoms, that I just thank him for. So for example, and I'll do my best. I could have some of the detail off here, but he'll say, if I'm gaining a lot from a book, like it's really, really good, and I'm just gleaning a ton from it, he said, I'll slow down the play speed so that it's going in there slower. He's like, if it's not doing that good, I'll speed it up. If it's not good at all, I will double time the book.
Interesting.
And then he said, if I'm not picking up anything from it, I just quit. And dude, that set me free, because I was the guy that's like, I started.
Same with me. I have to finish this.
Oh, I like the speeding up kind of thing too. You're like, I can kind of skim it.
I've never thought about that. That's in our day with technology.
Yeah. We gotta.
It was so it gave me sort of some like, oh, this is how I can go about it. So for example, Practicing the Way, I just read this book. I mean, it is, from the time it ended in my ears, we're talking less than 2 weeks ago. I already know it's my next read.
Again,
I will double it over, because what I need to do is I need to take, and a couple of the books we get into a little bit today that I read this year are Sacred Pathways and Practicing the Way. To me, these books for my life, they are like in parallel lanes at the same speed.
Yeah.
And so that book for me, I was like, all right, I got it. I understand it conceptually, the tone of it and all that. But now I actually need to run it back and I need to build a plan. So I know that I will go back into Sacred Pathways and there's a couple chapters that I need to go listen to again. When I listen, I need to not be in my truck, which is where I do most of my listening. I need to be in my office in my chair. I got like a chair and a little and like it's the stereotypical like devotional space.
Right. Yeah. Okay? I have something like that in my office.
And so
why is it there and not the truck? I'm just curious.
Because that's the reason is now. So the first time I'm listening, I'm just getting the content in here. This time I need to actually have a pen and a notepad, and I need to be thinking like, what I'm going to do with this from here. So I need to actually build a plan. And I think with practicing the way, it's like I just need to take it all in. Now I might listen to that one again while like driving, but I'll mark in my mind like I need to sit with chapter 3, let's say, and I need to actually write some things from there because heading into the new year, and I'm probably ahead of us. I'm jumping into episode 2 topic here, but
I'm excited about episode. I think we're gonna have fun with episode 2.
Yeah, heading into the new year, I need a new strategy.
Okay,
for my personal like time with the Lord, it's got to change, and so these are tools now that I will say, okay, what does that look like functionally? What am I going to do, and try to build a plan.
I do a little something close to that. I'll usually listen first if I'm into the book by chapter 3, like. Okay, this is good. Gradually, then suddenly what I'm doing right now, I'm like, this is good. This is what our church needs. I order the book, and then what I'll do is I'll go back through chapters, not with the listening. I'll read chapters and I'll highlight them. And I heard John Maxwell say this once. He'll read it through and he highlights, and then he goes through it again and only reads the highlights. And so he does, I think he says something like, I read the book the first time, the second time I let it read me. He's like, there's something about seeing the highlights that spoke to me that he's like, it's me telling me, pay attention to this moment right here. So I do, if you see any of my book, like I won't give away my personal, but I'll buy anybody. I mean, you see how many books we give away at Champion. I'll give anybody, I'll buy you a book, but I'm not, just let me borrow yours. I'm like, I can't do that. Right. I'll buy you one, but it has my personal highlights in it, my personal underlines in it, like that kind of stuff. That like this one, when we said, hey, we're gonna talk about this, dude, I opened it up, started reading through my highlights.
Yeah.
So that's just something big. So
I heard somebody say too, they would go through their book and like a Maxwell, for example, would write page 37 and a small note like in the actual cover side of the book. And that way, if 2 years later they go back, they could open it up and be like, this is what I pulled from this book. I know what page it is and all that kind of stuff. Wow. I thought that was clever.
You know what I hear, and then we can jump into this part about practicing the way, because especially with time. But here's what I hear with this. Reading takes intentionality. In our day and time where everything can be a swipe, that if it's more than 30 seconds, right? Exactly. If we don't get to the punchline, if we don't get to the stuff, but it's literally, this is made for us to sit and chew on and to process and to meditate on. And how does this apply to my life? How can I strategize with this? What, I think I'm guilty of that so much. We miss what we have available.
Yes.
Because of just the technology that we have.
Every book I read, I'm looking for one major takeaway. 27 chapters, all these topics. What's one thing when I close this book, I can say I can apply.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Okay. Let's hit practicing the way. Couple of things here. What were you expecting going into it? What surprised you? And then we can go right into your first big takeaway.
I expected to like it because you did.
Okay.
Honestly, we're similar enough that I'm like, I'll probably like this book. Honestly, forgot that John Mark Comer was the author of Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, because I read that in 2020 or something, maybe. Great book.
Yep.
Completely forgot that he had authored it. I was thinking this is the first book I'd ever read of him, but I did. I expected to like it. Nothing surprised me reading it. So, I mean, honestly, like nothing was like, wow, that caught me off.
That's it. I was like, were you about to go?
I just expected to like it, and I did.
Thank you for that.
That's good, yeah.
Well, all right, so what's something that has shifted, challenged you in then? Like, what was something that you saw in it? I don't know. That was like that thing that hits in your heart that's why I know how to describe it. You're like, that's probably for me.
So one thing I loved that I'll say is that I think John Mark Comer and when the author reads their own book on an audio source, it is always better.
Yeah.
100% of the time, it's a better listen than I don't know what you would call the other voice that like steps in.
Almost like a narrator? Not a narrator.
Maybe
that's
so.
Not right.
Maybe so.
Something like that, yeah.
But I thought he did such an incredible job of talking about biblical things that have denominational beliefs and stances. He did such a good job of talking about those type of things informatively, without picking a side, without making it weird or uncomfortable. Right, yeah. I would like 10 out of 10. And I am always trying to do that. So we are a non-denominational church with intention.
Yeah.
And so that was something I was like, man, he is world class at that. And I just want to keep improving and getting better at that. So kudos to him for being able to get into like some pretty, tough is not the word, but like people are pitted in their opinions and thoughts. And he just did a great job of
some sticky areas, the best way I know to say. And he just towed the line where it was like, dang, you can't argue that either. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, like
and
you said, this is Bible. Like,
to things like it made it intriguing to where it's like, if I didn't believe that because of my church upbringing, I'm intrigued enough to be like, well, maybe it's not the way I always thought. Maybe I just thought he did flawless job with that.
I think one of the biggest things that challenged me was when he goes into, it's nothing that I can say I was like, oh, I never seen that. But you know how this is just like a different light, if that makes sense? When he talks about being shepherded by Jesus, and that who is everyone, or I think he says like this, everyone has a rabbi. Yeah. Everyone has somebody that they're following. It's like, oh, duh. Yeah. Like we all do. And that ended up being, if you're from Champion, you've heard me use that language a ton over the last 14 months, for sure. If we are shepherds, we all have a gospel we believe. We all have a savior that we believe in, and we all have a kingdom that we're living for. And I got a lot of that idea from the whole thing that he says in there of like, we're being shepherded by someone.
Yes.
Who's it going to be? You get to choose who is going to shepherd you, who's going to lead you.
Right.
And let's hope it works out how you think it's going to work out.
Yeah.
And when he's kind of, obviously I'm paraphrasing, I was like, whew, that was like oh, of course.
Yeah. I loved the thing that stood out to me most in the book for me personally was the boundaries he talked about that he has around everything. When his phone has like, he didn't use these words for like office hours. Like there's a time it turns on, time it turns off. He has limitations.
I think he talks about putting it in the drawer too. I'm like, whoa, you psycho.
Yeah, true, like, for his whole household.
Yeah. The Sabbaths that they do, the whole household Sabbaths. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. And I appreciate that because we're such a consumeristic people. The amount of distraction is overwhelming and enormous. And again, here I am, already thinking and preparing for like when I cross I call it the border for some reason.
I heard you say that. What was it? I don't remember. It was the Vision Ambassadors. When you said something about the border. Yeah.
When I cross the border into the new year, I want some strategic and intentional change, improvement. And he talked about saying, like creating limitations. And it's funny because as I'm listening to him, I'm like, I say this stuff. It'd be nice if I would practice this, right? There's some of that. So I'll say
practice things the way.
So yeah. So like I'll say things like this. Yeses should have no's attached.
Right.
If you're going to say yes to getting up early,
I've heard you say that on this show.
To staying up late. You should. If you're saying yes to weight loss, you should say no to dessert, let's say. And then I'm as guilty as I can be sometimes of like yes and yes. Yeah. And it's like, well, that's not healthy.
I'll take both.
I'll have both. And I would like to have it both ways, right, and it's just like, you really can't. So I was personally challenged to say, all right, I've got to come up with some no's, boundaries. I need to stop some things in order to start some better things or whatever. I don't know. Not that it's like, I just need better rhythms. That's all.
Yeah.
I want to improve them. They're not good enough.
It's, so Gabe from the church, he does audiobooks for a living. So he worked with John Mark Comer on a few different books. And so I asked him one day at lunch, I said, hey, I don't want you to crush my, like the saying, I don't ever meet your idols. Like right. I believe in that probably more than I should, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to know, how is he? And he goes, he practiced what he preaches. He goes, we have been setting up like, hey, we got to get this recorded. We've got to get this audiobook done. And he'll get a response. I'm on a 30-day email Sabbath. And he's like, I don't care what you want. Like, we got to get, but like he legitimately practices this stuff out. Like he lives it 100%, which I don't know, it just meant a lot to me. Like I love it. I try to live what I preach as much as I can, but to hear
right, we should.
But to hear just the stuff that he brings in these books, and we should be getting a cutback for as much as we're promoting.
I know we're like promoting his book right now.
But it's truly, I believe this. I know we got to move on to Sacred Pathways.
We should.
I believe this. This is one of the most impactful things I've ever read, and I think I will always say that about this book. There's a few books that I could say radically changed my life in seasons. This is one of them.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was a great book. I think Sacred Pathways had an impact on me I did not necessarily expect. And
great transition.
I think that I read the book thinking I was reading that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then read it, and I'm like, this is great.
Sacred Pathways for me, I told you about, or I was saying I mentioned it on the show, right?
Yeah, I honestly think you mentioned that on the show, and then I crossed up the titles and read Sacred Pathways, and there you go. I think that's God's.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish I would have known who told me about Sacred Pathways. I don't remember, but someone really did. Good. And essentially like this, and you can give your version of the book. It gives you these different pathways that you connect with God. Mm-hmm. So often, especially if you've been in church for a while, you might feel like there's one way to connect with God, and there's one thing. This is how devotion looks. This is how prayer looks. This is how small groups look. This is whatever. And it's like, no, Jesus is the center of all of it. Community is absolutely necessary, but how you one-on-one connect with God, he lists 9 different pathways to do so. How would you describe the book?
Exactly that way, that he built you a way. And so the way that you're going to connect with him is in a particular way or a couple of ways.
Meaning God built you a way.
God built you a way. And the way that you're going to connect to the Father is in these ways. And he talks like which pathway describes you most was one of the questions we talked about answering. For me, it's going to sound naturalist. No one would be surprised by that.
Right. I was like, okay, it has to be that.
Because I like being in the woods and nature and watching the sunrise over a Midwestern horizon with just hardwoods and the silhouette of the beautiful, I'm telling you, there's nothing on earth like that to me. I like walking. I like that crisp, cold air, the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah. So a naturalist connects with God outdoors and encounters him deeply through creation and beauty.
Very much that is me. I love the woods. I just love the woods.
Like, so if you love the sunrise or the sunset, something about you would be like, it turns your heart to the Lord. Yes. You said it like it turns your affection to the Lord, seeing these kind of things.
That's right. Go ahead. The other one for me, which is going to sound really oxymoronic because I had to let spell check help me even write the word in my answer, the intellectual. That no one would use that word to describe me ever.
No, but all right. So intellectual though, I think that is, let me pull it up here. Meets God through study, understanding, and deep reflection on Scripture. That is me 100%. And it's funny because I'm not intelligent, but if I learn, for example, if I learn something about God through a book, or I'll say it like this, when I've been writing stuff, I write this stuff for Champion. And if anybody else gets benefit from it, like I love that.
Yeah.
But I connect with God best when I'm doing stuff like that.
Yeah. The more we are talking about like theology and history and context. And the more I'm like, what does that Hebrew word mean? How does that translate to English? What is the context of the life they were actually living there? So when Jesus said this, it would have had an influence or a meaning into that audience that can get lost to an American audience because of culture. And like, I can't get enough of that stuff. I just like, let's get into all that. So for me, I feel very, very close to God in those
I'm the same way.
Ways.
When I look at a story, we just did Joseph. We're about to do Herod and the wise men, and I'm going to bring some stuff. By the time this is out, I would have preached it last week. Some stuff on Herod, and I write my favorite chapter I've ever written. Out of 41, like I've written all these books of the thousands.
More than me.
We could, anyhow, that's a whole different conversation. But I will say the chapter I wrote in Nativity Within about Herod was the most fun I have ever had writing anything because
really
I got to research about who he was, what would he have done.
Yes.
Didn't realize he murdered his wife, he murdered his sons, he murdered people in his family that he thought was coming up. I was searching out what would it have been like when the wise men walked in there that day. What would have been the smell of there? What would the setup of it? And then to see how he interacted with Jesus and how fear gripped him. Like, buddy, I felt closer to Jesus just studying about the history of this moment when he was born than I maybe have writing anything else that I've done.
That's really cool.
So anyhow, I was getting excited just talking about it. But sacred pathways, there's this too. There's the sensate, meets God through senses, traditionalists. Like if you love structure, liturgy, sacred rhythms, you like church to go like this, then you're a traditional. I used to think these people were just religious.
Same. And that was the most surprising. Honestly, if you just said write off a chapter that you don't need, I'd have picked that one. And it had a greater impact on me than like a huge impact on me to the point that it's part of my 26 strategy.
Wow.
Like why people would want to pray holding beads, for example.
Yeah. Great point.
And how like for them, the holding of those beads is connecting my mind to stay focused on the Lord. Well, I have the like most ADD ever in my prayer time. It's annoying. I'll be praying and then I'm gone. And then all of a sudden I show back up like, Lord, I'm sorry. Like if I was in a conversation with a normal person doing that, I would be so rude. Like, hello, where are you?
Right,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought, man, I want to come up with, or I don't know. He in that chapter talked about like, somebody might put a ring on when they pray, or there's something that there is a actual thing that is keeping them focused on the act of prayer or worship or whatever. And I was like, I think I need a little of that. I think I'm going to benefit from something in that lane or avenue. I'm also super pumped. There's a Episcopal church in our city. I am going to their Good Friday service.
Buddy, you're planning out your Good Friday service?
And here's why. Because apparently...
That's April 4th.
Yeah, I'm going to be in there.
It is December 3rd when we're filming this.
I know, and I'm pumped about it.
You ain't kidding about a strategy the next year. This man's planning out his April already. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
The book affirmed for me, like, I think I need to go get into that real traditional atmosphere, because here's what I hear, right, is that they end that service, they have a bell, and they ring it 39 times.
Wow. Which would be for the 39 lashes that Jesus took. Wow.
Dude, I heard when people walk out that no one's saying a word. The sobering reality of how many stripes.
Wow.
How many times Jesus was hit with that whip. And they just ring that thing 39. And I'm like, I need to be sitting there.
Yeah.
I don't
want to make any plans 5 months out, but
I mean, I don't. It's just. But that is part of like I need more traditionalism in my personal devotion.
Here's what's funny. I do like Catholic churches.
Okay.
And I like stained glass. And there's some things that we're trying to do that I'm like, hey, I want to try to put stained glass in there if we can.
Cool.
Just because there's a weird thing to me that feels.
You do like a very traditional church. Like I've seen you make comments about certain.
Which is our church is the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Like wherever traditional church is. We're on the most maybe traditional church in our generation, I should say.
Sure.
Like that 2000s, 2010s kind of church. We're just the complete opposite. All right. I'll tell you the biggest one that I could have wrote off, but helped me pastor certain people in a season.
Yep.
Activist. Meets God while confronting injustice, defending the oppressed, and acting boldly.
Yep.
That's the hardest one for me to get. And sometimes I get a little smart mouth with it that I shouldn't, for sure, because that's how people meet with God. Now for me, caregiver, that's really big for me too.
Okay.
Like what we're able to do with the Pando app and God Behind Bars right now and what we do with wheelchair ramps for us, man, that's some of the closest I feel to God when we're doing those kind of things. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So
I would imagine the activist thing is a lot of people that are big on politics are probably leaning in that design. Yep. And you're right. It gives you a better understanding, a little bit more patience, because I'm not political. None.
No, me. Yeah,
none.
No.
But I understand.
I have opinions, but they're just my opinions. That's what they are.
Correct. And I don't think that politics and Christianity, like there's not a party that equals.
Right. It's the kingdom.
Right. But it did help me have a bit greater sense of compassion for people that do connect those two things very closely. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if that. reading
100%.
the book, it helped me understand my daughters a little better because I think that they are, what was number 2? The sensate. Can you read that?
Yeah, sensate is meets God through the senses, such as worship elements, beauty, imagery, and atmosphere.
Yes. And I don't even know if this is true, and this is going to go out to the stinking world, but I feel like...
Luckily, there's no one that watches this.
I feel like that describes both of Lauren and I's girls. That they're very both can sing well. They're both very worshipful. Our youngest daughter's a photographer. Like they're, and I was just like, oh man, like, and then reading that chapter and hearing how these people connect to the Lord and what makes them feel close to Him, it gave me a better understanding of like, all right, and I don't know. Now I can more appreciate what they're longing for, like in a church service. I get that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
100%. We're almost out of time here. Is there anything in your notes on this one that you want to make sure? And then I love this last line in the closing. That's what I want to hit you with.
Okay.
What's one sentence that summarizes your year of learning?
Okay. I'm learning to be more of a son and less of a servant.
You've said that a ton on this year on the episodes. Yeah.
This is no doubt going to be a process for me that I won't have this like mastered in January. I will probably continue to meet with my friend Aaron, and we'll talk more about this. I'll probably read more into this. But you're right. I've talked about it a lot. Performance-based thinking is my mind. I'll say this. This will be the final words. My heart understands the gospel. That salvation was achieved by works, just not my own. It is the completed work of Jesus on the cross for me that saves me. My heart gets that. My mind can lose that. And I somehow get duped into a cycle of like, do you see me trying, God? Do you see me working? Do you see me serving? Do you see me preaching? Do you see me praying? He's like, oh yeah, but like, you want to hang out with me?
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? That is where somewhere in my head, I think I need to earn the approval of the Lord. And my heart knows better. And so a son doesn't feel like I've got to earn it. A servant might. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. That is my sentence. What about you?
Dylan, do you got something you've learned this year, 2025? If you need to think on it, I can hit my line first.
Yeah, yours first.
Okay, so mine would be this. I wrote this down, and this was specifically about reading and with books. 2024 was beneficial to me. 2025 has been beneficial to others. Like if there's two, that was the first thing that came to mind. Really like that. 2024 was a lot of spinning plates, trying to figure it out, screwing stuff up. Like, okay, that didn't work. And then 2025, when we hit the Sermon on the Mount, and a lot of you at Champion will remember this, and then we went into 41. That's a season. There is so much that happened in that season that we will look back at years and say that was the genesis of so much that we never thought would be possible, truly possible. So 2024 was beneficial to my heart, and not that I'm not growing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm about to start counseling again. You know,
makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
2025 has been beneficial, I think, for the group of us. What would you say, Dylan?
I would say I learned that no matter how much like negative things happen to me or in my life, that like I'm still living someone else's dream, which really good, just grounds me. You know what I mean? Like no matter what I'm going through, I'm like, my car's messed up. Well, at least you have a car, you know, like you don't like your job. Well, at least you have a job. Like
that's really good.
So that's some like Philippians 4 stuff. Like anything excellent or praiseworthy, think on these things. That's what I feel like that's good. Yeah,
absolutely. That's this whole year has been like full of that, like one thing after another. But I'm like, that helps ground me. You know, I'm like, at the end of the day, you're still blessed. Like you're living someone else's dream. Somebody else has it worse. Like,
that's good, man. That's great perspective.
No doubt.
I love that. Good answer, man. That's perfect. Yeah. The only thing we haven't done is sing.
Home on the range.
Oh, that's good. I was going to bring a home one up. That's so funny. Look at the Lord. I was going to do country roads, take me home to a place.
All right, and that's the end of the episode. Thank you.
West Virginia.
I will not be singing anything.
Mama, come on. take me home. Hey, get one of these books. Seriously, get something in your life. The next week or this next episode, we're talking about habits and what experts say and what we actually live out, which I am stoked about because you're going to realize how terrible I am. All right. God bless you guys. Share this with somebody who you say, hey, you're dumb and you need a book. So I'm just kidding. Do not say that at all. Share this with somebody who need it. Get practice in the way, get sacred pathways to get something and take that step and grow. God bless you guys.